welcome to your sleep story. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Whatever this day was, however long it felt, however much it held, it is behind you now, completely behind you. You made it through, and that is everything. So let's begin. Before I take you anywhere tonight, I want to count you down from 10 to 1. And as I count, I want you to allow yourself to sink just a little deeper into wherever you are right now. Feel the weight of your body. Feel what is beneath you, holding you. And with each number, just let go a little more. 10. Allow your eyes to close, gently, completely. There is nothing you need to see right now. 9. Feel your shoulders and let them drop as far as they want to go. 8. A slow breath in through the nose. 7. And all the way out. 6. Your hands. Feel them opening. Whatever you've been holding today, you can put it down now. 5. Your jaw is soft. Your face is soft. 4. Your legs are heavy. Warm. 3. You're drifting. Not asleep yet, but moving that way. 2. The day is behind you, completely and entirely behind you. 1. And now, tonight's sleep story. The relaxation. Before we go anywhere, I want to stay here with you for a moment. Just here, just now. Because this moment, this exact moment, right now, where you are lying in the quiet, deserves a little attention, a little kindness. Take a breath in for me. From the very bottom of the belly, good, and let it go. And as you breathe out, I want you to imagine that everything you were carrying today, every worry, every unfinished thought, every heavy thing is just leaving with that breath, just drifting away. You don't have to solve anything tonight. You don't have to figure anything out. You don't have to be anything other than exactly what you are right now. A person who deserves rest. A person who deserves sleep. Because you do. You really do. Whatever happened today, whatever was hard, whatever felt heavy, you made it through. You are here. And that is enough. That is more than enough. You are safe. And you are here. Bring your awareness gently to your feet now. Just notice them and allow them to soften, the toes uncurling, the arches releasing, all the small held tension of the day simply letting go. Let that softness travel upward, through the calves, through the knees, the thighs, all of it warm, all of it heavy, all of it resting now. Your lower back, your hips. Allow yourself to feel the surface beneath you taking your weight completely, fully. You don't have to hold yourself up anymore. The water has you. The stone has you. The belly soft. The chest soft. The heart beating steadily as it always has. As it always will. Your shoulders dropping. Your arms heavy and warm. Your hands open and still. The neck long and loose. And your face, let the jaw go. Let the forehead smooth. Let the eyes be completely still behind their lids. There you are. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes, completely soft, completely warm, completely at rest. You've done beautifully. Now, let me take you somewhere. Somewhere the tourists have gone and the vaporetti have stopped. And the canals are perfectly still, and the reflections are more real than the things they reflect, and the city is most itself. Come with me, the city Venice. There is nowhere like it. There has never been anywhere like it. The city built on water, not on solid ground with canals running through it. On water, on the lagoon, the 120 small islands, connected by 400 bridges, over 150 canals, the city that should not exist, that exists anyway, that has existed for 1,500 years. The city that the people of the mainland built when the barbarians came, when there was nowhere left to go except the water that the barbarians could not cross, the water that was the protection, the water that became the city, the lagoon, the most improbable location for one of the most beautiful things human beings have ever made, Venice. At midnight the hour, the tourists are gone. The last tourist boat left hours ago. The vaporetti, the water buses, running less frequently now, but still running. The last groups drifting back to their hotels, to their cruise ships, to their rooms. The last gondola moored hours ago, the gondoliers asleep. At midnight, Venice returns to itself, to the people who live here, the Venetians who stay, who have always stayed, who know this city after the tourists leave, the city that belongs to them. At midnight, the streets, empty, the calle, the narrow Venetian streets, empty, the campi, the small squares, empty, or almost a cat, the Venetian cats, who have the city at midnight, as the cats of the Medina have their market. The calle you are walking, the Cal, the Venetian street, narrow, so narrow, in places your arms could touch. Both walls, the stone buildings, on either side, almost touching. Above you, the gap of sky, very narrow, the stars in the gap, found one at a time between the buildings, the same way as the Amazon canopy, as Cornelius found the blank spaces, one, then another, the way the city reveals what it has, slowly, one gap at a time, the Cal, winding. You do not know where it leads in Venice. You never know where the Cal leads, until it leads there, the city that cannot be navigated by logic, only by walking, by turning, by the surprise of the canal appearing at the end of the Cal that seemed to go nowhere. The canal at the end of the canal, always the canal, at the end or beginning in Venice. The street and the canal, the same thing in different forms. The street for walking, the canal for boats, the canal at midnight still, perfectly still, the water, the dark water, the water of the lagoon, tidal, the tide, turning the water, at the turning of the tide, completely still. This is the moment, the still point, the moment between the going out and the coming in, the water, not flowing one way, not flowing the other, simply still, and in the stillness, the reflections, the reflections, the reflections, in the still canal, the thing that makes Venice at midnight different from every other place, the palazzo on the bank and its reflection, the palazzo upside down, in the water, not a copy, something different, something the water makes from the palazzo, the way the water always makes something different from what it reflects, something better in some ways. The reflection softened slightly, the hard edges of the stone, softened by the water, made more beautiful for being in the water, the lamp on the bridge and its reflection, a long amber line in the water, the amber, that is Venice at night, the particular amber of the Venetian street lamp, in the Venetian canal, the same amber that has been in this water for centuries, different lamp, same amber, the amber of Venice, that belongs to Venice. That is Venice. As the gray is the Faroe Islands, as the green is the tea estate, as the golden glow is the Austrian Gasthaus, the amber of Venice in the water. At midnight, the smell Venice at midnight, the smell, the lagoon smell, the particular smell of Venice. Salt water, yes, but more than salt water, the old stone, the algae on the stone. At the waterline, the green algae that grows where the stone meets the canal, the ancient, slightly brackish, slightly mineral, slightly organic smell of the canal water and the city on it, the stone that has been in the water for 1,500 years, the stone that is partly the canal now, the line between the city and the water, unclear, ambiguous, as it has always been, and the cold, the November cold, coming off the lagoon, the aqua alta, the high water, that comes in winter, that fills the piazza, that floods the ground floors, that the Venetians know, the way Sigrid knows the Faroese wind, the way Armand knows the cave cold, by long acquaintance, and the faint sweetness from somewhere, from a late bakery or a restaurant still going in the campo, behind the buildings, the sweetness, finding the canal, finding the midnight. Marco, he lives in Venice. His name is Marco. He is 59. He has lived here all his life. He is a Veneziano, a genuine one. The genuine Venetians are fewer every year. The city, losing its people to the mainland, to Mester, to the cost of living, in a city where every building material must come by boat, where every repair takes 3 times as long as on the mainland, where the quality of life for a working person is harder every decade. Marco stays. He has always stayed. He cannot explain why, except that Venice is the only place he has ever wanted to be. He is walking tonight, the midnight cow, as he walks every night before he sleeps. He cannot sleep without the walk. He has tried. He cannot. The city requires the walk, or the walk requires the city. Not say which comes first. What Marco Knows, he knows Venice in the way that only the Venetians know it, not the Venice of the tourists, the Venice of the tide tables, the Venice of the aqua alta forecast, the Venice of knowing, which calls flood, in which storms, the Venice of knowing, the neighbors, the families, the generations who have been here. He knows the canals, their depth, their tidal behavior, which ones back up. In the Sirocco, the wind that pushes the lagoon water into the city. He knows the light, the way the Venetian light changes through the day, through the year, the morning light on the Grand Canal, the evening light on the Giudecca, the winter light on the lagoon, the light that painters have been coming to Venice for 500 years. Titian, Tintoretto, Canaletto, Turner, Monet, all of them coming for the Venetian light that Marco lives in without thinking about it. The way the fish does not think about the water, the bridge, the small bridge over the small canal, the bridge that Marco crosses on his walk, the bridge that has been at this crossing for a very long time, the Venetian bridges, the hundreds of them, each one crossing a canal, each one stone, old stone, the stone steps, up one side, over the arch, down the other side, the steps worn in the center, worn by the feet of centuries of Venetians, crossing daily. The center of the step, lower than the edges, the hollow, left by the foot, that is always in the center of a well-used step. The same hollow as Wyland's stone in the bamboo grove, the same worn center, the same evidence of return of the faithful foot, returning, always returning to the center of the step. Marco crossing the hollow under his foot, the hollow made by 10,000 Venetians before him, the gondola moored at the canal edge, the gondola, its cover over the forward section, the fells. In the old days, the private cabin where the passengers sat, hidden. Now, just the boat, its long, low shape, its particular asymmetry. The gondola, that is asymmetric, deliberately, the left side longer than the right, to compensate for the gondolier, standing on the left, pushing on the left, the asymmetry that creates the straight line through the canal, the asymmetric boat that goes perfectly straight, the paradox of the gondola. It's black, the traditional black, the Venetian law of 1562, that all gondolas must be black to prevent the wealthy from competing in the decoration of their boats. The law that made every gondola the same, the law that created the silhouette. That is Venice, the long black boat on the dark water, the palazzo on the canal bank, the palazzo, the Venetian palace, not a palace in the usual sense, not a royal palace, the palazzo of the merchant, of the Venetian merchant family who built here in the 15th century or the 16th, the water entrance, the piano noble, the grand first floor, the floors above the facade, Gothic or Byzantine or Renaissance or some mixture of all of them, that only Venice does, the facade, in the water, in the reflection, the piano noble, its windows, dark now, at midnight, but once, those windows, lit with candles, with the musicians, with the guests, with the silk and the glass and the trade goods of the Venetian merchant who built this palazzo, who entertained here, who made Venice what it was, the Serenissima, the most serene republic, the longest-lived republic in history. 1,000 years, the water sound the canal at midnight. The water sound, not silence, not quite the water against the stone, very slightly. The tide turning creates a very slight movement in the canal, the water, finding the stone, pulling back, finding again, a very slight, gentle, lapping, the sound that has been in these canals for 1,500 years, the sound that the builders heard as they laid the foundations in the lagoon, as they drove the piles into the mud, the same sound, still here, after 1,500 years, and the bells, not the church bells, not at this hour, but the sound of the bells in the memory of the canal, the bells that have been ringing in Venice for 1,000 years. The Marangona, the great bell of the Campanile, that rang at midnight in the old republic, that rang to close the gates, to begin the curfew, to mark the end of the day, the bell, still in the memory of the stone, of the water, still present. After all these years, growing still, Marco is on the bridge, looking at the canal, the reflection of the lamp the long amber line in the still water, the tide, at its turning, the still point. If thoughts are arriving, and they probably are, because that is what minds do, they are not staying long. The water takes them. The canal, the reflecting water, the water that makes two Venices, one above, one below. The thoughts come, you notice them. The canal receives them, as it receives the light, the lamp, the palazzo, the bridge, all of it received, all of it reflected, all of it made different by the water, made softer, made more beautiful in the reflection. You don't need to hold any of them, just the canal, just the amber. In the water, just Marco on the bridge, looking, just the still point of the tide, just Venice. After midnight, being itself. Peace lives in this city, in the water and the stone and the reflections and the amber and Marco's lifetime of faithful return. Tonight it is yours. Good night, you are doing so beautifully. The day is done. You walked the Cali tonight, the narrow streets, the surprise of every canal at the end, the reflections in the still water at the turning of the tide, Marco on the bridge, the moored gondola, the palazzo with its dark windows, the amber lamp line in the water. The city received you, as Venice receives people who come to it at midnight, with the water and the stone and the amber and the reflections and the particular, extraordinary, completely irreplaceable quality of a city built on water at the hour when the water is most itself. Carry it with you on the days when you feel you are sinking, the days when the foundation seems uncertain and the water seems too much. Remember Venice. Remember that the city was built on water, that the water was the point, that what should have been impossible was not, is not. You know the way here now, but tonight you are already here. The canal is below, the amber is in the water, the tide is turning. Sleep now, deeply, completely. You deserve every water-still, amber-lit, stone-warm, canal-deep, Venice midnight moment of this rest. Every single one. Good night. Sleep well. The city through the night, the canals at night, the canals of Venice. At night, the whole system. At rest, the vaporetti, running less, the boats moored, the gondolas covered the water, doing what water does without the boats, moving with the tide, very slightly, the lagoon breathing through the canals, in, then out, then in again. The tide, the tidal breath of Venice, the city breathing twice a day, as it has always breathed, the tide coming in, the city inhaling, the tide going out, the city exhaling, the lagoon, the lungs of Venice, the piles below the buildings, below the stone, below the canal water, the piles, the wooden piles, the alder and the oak that the Venetians drove into the mud of the lagoon when they built the city. 1,000,000 piles, perhaps more, driven down into the clay, the anaerobic clay, the clay without oxygen that preserves the wood indefinitely, the piles of Venice, still in the mud, after 1,000 years, in some cases, unchanged. The wood that should have rotted did not rot, because the mud has no oxygen, because without oxygen the bacteria cannot act, cannot decompose. The wood preserved, the way the honey in the Egyptian tomb was preserved, the wood preserved by the absence of the thing that would destroy it, the piles, the foundation of a city that should not exist, that does exist, on a million wooden piles in the mud of the lagoon. What the water knows, the water of the Venetian canals knows things that the stone only suspects. The water that has been here since the city was built, or not the same water, different water, but the same canals. The water has seen the Doge's barge on the Grand Canal for the Sposalizio del Mare, the wedding of the sea, the ceremony in which the Doge cast a ring into the lagoon, wedding Venice to the sea. Every year for 700 years, the water received the ring. The water holds all the rings, all the ceremonies, all the 700 years of the Serenissima. The water, knowing what the stone cannot know, what the stone was above. The water was in the difference between witnessing and being present. Marco's Venice, he has seen the changes. Marco, the changes of a lifetime. In Venice, the city smaller when he was a child in population, smaller in the people who belong here, larger in the visitors, the tens of millions who come every year to see what he lives in. He does not resent them, he understands them. He would come too if he had not been born here, but he was born here, and he stays with the canal, with the midnight walk, with the amber in the water, with the bridge and its hollow step. He stays because Venice, after midnight, is the Venice he loves, the Venice that the tourists never see, the Venice that belongs to the people who live here, the Venice that has always belonged to the people who stayed. The glass on the island of Murano across the lagoon, the glass blurs, the furnaces burning even now, at this hour. Some of them, the glass furnaces that cannot be let to go cold. The same principle as Cornelius's glass, the glass furnace that burns. Always on Murano, the Murano glass, the most famous glass in the world, the glass tradition that the Venetians moved to the island in 1291 to protect the city from the risk of fire. The furnaces that were too dangerous for the crowded wooden buildings of medieval Venice moved to the island where they have been since 1291. The glass made there sent across the lagoon to Venice, to the world, the glass that Clara knows how to make in a different place, with different materials, but the same breath, the same fire, the same transformation. The glass being made on Murano tonight in the furnaces that never cool. The acqua alta in winter, the acqua alta, the high water, the phenomenon that is Venice's challenge and Venice's most beautiful contradiction. The water that should not be here, that comes in through the drains, through the lowest streets, filling the piazza, filling the ground floors. The siren that warns the Venetians with its tone tells them how high the water will be. 1 tone, 50 centimeters, 2 tones, 103 tones, 140. The Venetians who have their boards, their rubber boots, who lift what needs lifting, who wait for the water to go. The acqua alta that the Venetians accept as the Faroese accept the wind, as the tea estate accepts the monsoon. The water that belongs to this city because the city belongs to the water. The cats of Venice at midnight, the cats emerge. The Venetian cats. The cats that live in Venice, that have always lived in Venice, that the Venetians feed in the campi, in the narrow calle, on the quaysides, the cats that belong to the city, the way the Medina cats belong to the Medina, the city cats, who know every bridge, every cal, every campo in the dark, better than any map, better than any tourist, better than most Venetians, the cats who have, in their collective memory, the knowledge of 1,000 years of Venice. The turns, the dead ends, the shortcuts, the places where the fish falls from the market. In the morning, the cats, who are the city's most faithful inhabitants. The morning at 6, the vaporetto, the first vaporetto of the morning, its engine on the Grand Canal, the sound carrying through the still air of the early morning, the first boat of the day, the first boat since the last boat of the night, the city beginning again, as it always begins, with the water, with the boats, the fruit and vegetable barge that comes from the mainland, from the market garden islands, with the produce, for the Venetian restaurants, for the Venetian homes, the barge unloading at the Rialto market, the market that has been at the Rialto for 1,000 years, the market where Marco goes on Saturday mornings, as his mother went, as her mother went, the market and the barge and the Grand Canal, and the morning beginning, as it always begins, in Venice, with the water, with the light, finding the water, the amber of the night, going the gold of the Venetian morning, coming, the light on the Grand Canal, the light that Turner painted, that Monet painted, that Marco lives in without painting, simply receives every morning the gift of the Venetian light on the Venetian water. That is also the reflected Venetian light below the two cities, the one above and the one in the water, both completely Venice. The canals are still. The tide is at its turning. The amber is in the water. The gondolas are moored. The palazzi are dark. Marco has gone home, his walk done. The cats are in the calle, the piles, in the mud. Still, 1,000 years, still, the water breathing. In, out, the city breathing with it. And the Murano furnaces, still burning across the lagoon, the glass, being made tonight in the fire that never cools, and you are sleeping deeply, completely, peacefully in Venice. At midnight, the water below, the stone above, or the stone below, the water above, both in Venice, both. This is exactly where you should be. This is exactly what you deserve. Every water still, amber-lit, stone-warm, canal-deep, Venice midnight moment. Every single one. You are safe. You are held. You are at peace. Good night, dear friend. Sleep well. Sleep deeply. Good night.